how did I get into writing crime fiction? Well, why not? Is my answer to that. I can't write anything else. If I did stray, it might be, I quite like historical fiction. But you see, there's research, there's a whole shed load of research involved in that. So I don't, I'd get bogged down. And where I live lends itself to crime. I don't know if you know where I live.
Yeah, you have an accent that I truly love. It's so interesting.
It's not enough.
I love it. It's pretty great. I was trying to pinpoint it, but I'm American, so I'm not very good at it.
Yeah, you don't sound as if you're around here. We don't get many of you around here. No, well, I don't know. I live between Manchester and Huddersfield. It's very hilly. It's very nice. I live in one of the Saddlewood villages. Well, there's a name to conjure with. So around this area, we've got quite a history where crime, murder and all the rest of it is concerned. Not that any of that it impinges on what I do. I've even changed the names of the places I write about.
Yeah.
But it's all I read. Before I started writing, I read an awful lot. Most of what I read was crime. So, I mean, I've never strayed into Mills and Boon or anything like that.
Right. Well, I actually have a question. What is one of your favorite crime books that helped inspire you to read more of them?
Well, I do like Ian Rankin. I found that Dermot. I actually met her at our local library. Oh, and Peter Robinson, the DCI fan. Because found that Dermot is Scottish. Well, I'm half Scottish. I don't sound it, but I am. And Peter Robinson sets his books in Yorkshire. So, and then there was another writer, his name escapes me for the minute, who was an indie writer. And I was really very impressed with what he was doing at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I retired from proper work, suddenly everything had changed in the publishing world, and Amazon had come along, and you could put it out there yourself. Well, I didn't have a female detective.
Yeah.
Not one who was the lead character.
Mm-hmm.
They were all blokes, and I stopped and I said, Helen, why are you writing about these blokes? There aren't very many blokes in my family. I've got a husband, no sons. I've got daughters, mostly granddaughters. I only got one grandson, and he's not a criminal. So I thought, well, or even a policeman. So I thought, well, you need, you could do something from a woman's point of view. So I set her up. She started off in my head.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, well, I think I made her just short of 40, with two teenage girls. I've got daughters who are a little bit older than that, actually. They won't like me saying, well, they probably will when they see it. And when one of them read the first little bit where, in the very first book, Next Victim, where Rachel's trying to struggle answering the phone with her daughters wanting this and wanting that. One of my daughters read that and said, that's my life. So, that's my life. Trying to do 101 things in the morning when you try to get them off to school or wherever they're going, and you're trying to sort your day out because, of course, you're their mother and what you do isn't as important as their lives. So I thought, we'll have Rich. And then I thought, we'll set it in Manchester. We'll put it. I've been in the countryside quite a lot. So I thought, right, we'll do the nitty-gritty city world now.
Why not?
Because I know Manchester. I haven't, at that particular point, I did have to go for a wander around and reappraise myself of what it was like, because it's changed a lot. It's not easy to get into Manchester from where I live. I have to go park the car somewhere and up on a train or a tram. So I wandered around Manchester, and I took my daughter and my granddaughter with me that day. They must have had aching feet, went all over the place. And I had a really good. Then I went back on my own after that. I thought, right. And I noticed all the things that had changed. The fact that we've now got a business end called Spinning Fields, and Ancoats, it's a part of Manchester, is really up and coming, and there's posh flats, all the old cotton mills have been turned into loft apartments. And then we've got somewhere completely new called New Islington. I mean, where did that spring from? No idea, but I thought it's lovely, lovely marina, you know, where the canal boats all come in. They come across the Pennines and they all end up going towards the Bridgewater and out into the sea. So I thought, yeah, there's a lot to go at here. So that's what I did. And then Rachel was born. But you see, she has to have they all have a bit of a dark side. Well, they all have a dark side apart from Caledine. He's just a nice big cuddly teddy bear, really.
You have to have one of those.
Oh yeah, well he's that one. But Rachel does have a bit of a side to her. She was in love in her teenage years with this lad, and it turned out to be where she became a cop and was very good at it. He became a gangster and was very good at what he did.
I love that plot line. Two opposites attracted.
That's right. So she couldn't really have a lot to do with him because it would impinge on her career.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, he kept popping up. Anyway, he changed.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he changed quite dramatically throughout the series. You know, in the space of 5 books. Oh, I won't say too much about the last one, but he did change. So much so that he actually helped the police out on 1 or 2 occasions, and they were able to live together. And they were a family, and she had another baby, and they would pick it up. Actually, they've just come this morning. I don't know what to do.
Beautiful they are. They're so good.
But they, you know, it's just come this morning. That's the next installment.
I have one of your other books over here. Well, there's this one right here.
Oh yeah, that one. That was the first one. We've got Rachel striding off into the distance. Well, in the latest one, she's still striding. You can't.
I know she's still walking till this day.
Yeah, she's still walking. Oh, she's got canal boats and cobbles. I love it. Don't you love it?
No, it's an extraordinary book, and like I love the plot of you know, these 2 characters and having them be on 2 opposite spectrums of this world, yet they come together on occasion to help each other, and then ends up developing. So how was that like with the current book? So the most recent one, which is out today, kind of how did the shift from, you know, the previous book to now the most current book really, how did that feel?
Her job role hasn't changed. She's still doing what she always did, but her personal life has changed. And that has influenced a number of things that her thought processes have perhaps changed because of that. She has all her trust in this guy now, whereas she was very dubious. You know, she was careful. She couldn't commit to a relationship. I mean, she still loved him. She got married and had 2 kids, but that's not really where it was. Heart always belonged to Jed. So in this book, he's come back into her life and they're living together, and that's changed her, and she trusts him. The area I live in, how's that influenced me? Oh, it's all very good. So, I mean, I can't imagine placing a book somewhere where I don't know quite well, or where I haven't been frequently. You know, so I couldn't suddenly pitch something on the South Coast, because I've been to Brighton, but I think I only spent a couple of days there. I may mention places, but if they have to be round here. Caledine and Baylis is very much round here. I changed the names to protect the innocent, but you know, it's Oldham, Saddleworth and places I know, including all the little villages and all the characters and weird places, weird hill name, you know, everything where because it's part and parcel of it. And to a certain extent, it makes them what they are. They have traits which are peculiar and particular to living around here. I sometimes use language that Jasper will say something about a phrase or something. Like I called in one of my books, I called lorries.
Oh, yeah.
Wagons.
Oh.
Now, yeah, and he thought I meant something to do with the Wild West.
Wagons.
But we call them wagons.
No
you know,
way.
the great big trucks, you know, lorries you see trundling around. Oh, I said,
A wagon.
bloody wagon, it nearly, I mean, do you use that?
Wow. We call them
No.
semi-trucks in America, so I like wagon the best out of the three.
Yeah. So I mean, we'd often refer to as a wagon. Oh, listen, that wagon, whatever. So and there's lots of other little bits, and what you call a bread roll is very important. So yeah, and there's a lot of. I mean, there is everywhere. Society is sort of. You've got your drug dealing and your poverty, and you've got your crime. I mean, our local news is full of it every day, and then you've got normal and not much happening, like where I live.
Yeah.
I do change the names. I don't change Manchester's name because it's big enough to take it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But all the little places, the little villages that I talk about, particularly if anything bad happens, I change their names. So yeah, it started off there. The Caledon and Bailey series started off being very much around where I lived. I have moved since I first started writing them, but very much in the thick of it. I mean, the village I lived in was Leiston. It wasn't exactly the same. The estate that I talk about in those books, the Hopfield, is somewhere else. I'm not saying where, but it is somewhere else. And almost exactly as described.
Oh, it's fascinating to hear this stuff, just because it's fascinating to know, like, what inspiration does an author pull from their lives, from their situations and their surroundings, and it's interesting.
Oh, everything. Yeah,
everything.
A lot of things that I talk about, I've mentioned it in my books, have come from things that have actually happened to me. In one of my books, I used to work at a local college. Now, anyone who's worked with me at that place will know where I mean. I'm not going to mention it. And I was a course tutor for a particular course we were running. I won't say what. I won't give too much away.
Yeah.
And every year we suddenly had to do progression data. We had to go upstairs for a big meeting and show the college hierarchy where our students have gone once they left us, because they wanted them in university or in jobs. And I looked at my lot. So what I did, I went to that meeting and I took with me the front page of the local newspaper that week, because 4 of my students were on it. They'd all gone to prison.
Oh my gosh.
And that was my, and I actually wrote something in one of the books that here's somebody is working at a college, and she takes up the front page of the local paper as her progression. I like that sort of thing, real life. I know what you want, but this is the reality of the situation.
So actually, I have an additional question, which is, how long does it usually take you to write a novel? Because sometimes it takes years for authors to write books.
No, it doesn't take years. But once I get into it, I have to get on with it, because it niggles away, and they write and they start to bother me, these characters, because they want to. But it's getting into it. It's getting, once I've got the plot, I know where I'm going, and then I know the character. I usually start off with names. It's names that do it for me. Like Caledon lived in my head for a long time before I actually wrote about him, because I was still working and I had things going on and I didn't really have time, but he was there in my head and eventually it came out. But yeah, it's names and things. So yeah, I get the plot, something will occur to me and I think, oh right. Right, so we'll have this person, that person, and then it starts, and then somebody in that will take over and they'll want writing about.
Wow.
Weird head, you see. I don't know why. I don't know where it comes from. But there we have it. Wow. I've just a couple of weeks back, I sent in another new book that I've been writing this summer. And it's a new character. And she was that tale was born out of a bit of a holiday I took with my brother and his wife. That's completed, and I'm hoping it will be the start of a new series. But I'll wait and see how people take to her. She's another female detective. She's older than Rachel. She should be thinking about retiring, but you know what it's like. Mid-70s and still going strong. What do you do? So, but what I'm working on now is Caladan and Bailey's 12. So that's the one I'm working on now. And we're just a little way into it. We just got going. And it's going to be back to the estate, and it's not about drugs this time. It's about something else I've read about quite recently. Oh, that's a good idea. Not a good idea in terms of lawfulness and creating mayhem in your area. But, I've not thought a good idea. That's what I'm doing now.
Oh, well, I cannot wait to read that book, but I'm so excited for the world to finally read Last Victim. I love asking this question for authors to, give their take on, because there's so much advice out there, but what would be your number one token of advice to somebody who wants to get into this field and write that book? Right.
I put it off so many years using the excuse I don't have time. I've got a full-time job, which is quite, something demanded my full attention. Family, all sorts going on, grandkids, people under my feet. And then even when I finished the job at college, I went working with my brother, and that was an excuse, really. I've got time, I've got this. But anyway, I finally decided that enough was enough, and I would do it and see what's in there. So do it. Make time, even if it's only half an hour a day. Set yourself time and write something. Doesn't matter what it is, just write it, because you can go back and change it. And if possible, perhaps join a writing group. I'm a member of a writing group. I've been a member for a few years now, and it's invaluable. I still find things that we do invaluable. And we go about to places, that writing group, my writing group is a member of the National Association of Writing Groups. So there are competitions and there are all sorts. We had a lovely weekend. Yes. We met Julian Fellows, and I met Peter Robinson, and we had a meal, and we had a wonderful time. We were runner-up in some competition. We wrote an anthology between us. So I think we published it. It's out. So among my writing group, there's a whole mix of authors doing different things,
It keeps me accountable. I was a part of a writing group, and I've been on writing retreats, and it takes a very solitary job and makes it social and bouncing ideas off of people and having this communication and this connection and having something that really brings the community together in a union. It's just honestly, it's the best feeling in the world as an author. And this series is truly incredible. So congratulations.
Thank you very much. It's been lovely talking to you, Sasha.